I find the most interesting ways to make things difficult. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're out here in the very hot shop and we're going to work on my blue wide-body 1984 Pontiac Fiero. In this video we're going to change the oil, we're going to poorly fix a transmission leak, and we're going to take the front exhaust manifold off, header, whatever you want to call it, because it's cracked and leaking, and we're going to poorly repair that and put that back on with a new gasket, so then I can drive this car. So first things first here is we need to move some other stuff out of the way, like the station wagon and my red Fiero. So I'm going to start by doing that. Then we can lower this down. See here, we have all the parts we're going to need. Some RTV for our poor leak repair. We got some brake clean to clean everything up. Exhaust gaskets. A little more transmission fluid to go in the transmission. And then we have oil filter and oil. So I'm going to move some cars and then we'll get started. And here we are on the ground where we can get to it. So we're going to go ahead and pull the oil cap, pull up the dipstick so I don't forget that I'm changing the oil. And then to get this back exhaust manifold off, well, I guess this is the back one, the front manifold off, there's a V-band clamp right down here that I have to take loose. And then there's another one in the exhaust down low. And then I think there's a heat shield that we take loose, and then I should be able to unbolt it and take it all the way off. Then we can unwrap it, because as you can see it's heat wrapped, and that's what happens back here. This being an 84 Fiero, that is open for air to escape. Also water can get down in there, and then our heat wrap holds the water up there at the front, and then the exhaust manifold cracks. Done this a time or two before. It's great. Maybe I should not wrap it. All right, well, I guess we'll get started. And I know in a previous video I talked about repainting things. I was gonna go with blue or black, but honestly, the red turned out good. It still looks good, so I think we're just gonna stick with it. I had this wire loom that I was going to put on here, but the black looks fine, and the Bonneville project is going to need some wire loom stuff, so maybe we'll use this on that. Like I have several different sizes. I also had this paint that we were going to paint it with, but like I said, I think I'm going to use that on the Bonneville. All right, number next. Dipstick up so I don't forget what I'm doing. Don't remember if that dipstick tube has to come out in order to do the manifold. Oh, oil's full. We'll just set that there. All right, get this V-band clamp loose. What do I need for that? It's like a 10. It is indeed a 10. I don't remember if I have to take that all the way loose. Yeah, we're gonna. There's the nut. Got a stack of 50 washers. I'm sure there's a reason for that. That'll be a surprise for later. And then it should come loose. And then it should come loose. It's not listening. All right, well, it's loose, but it's also kind of stuck. So we got it loose from up here. We can catch it down low. So let's put the car back up in the air. And then we'll do what we need to do up there. Okay, under the car, this is the bottom. This is the V-band I got to take off. Never mind my stellar welding and quality pipe that I used before. Yeah. We have, I believe this is the action sensor for the engine computer. And this one up here, maybe the action sensor for the wideband. It's one way or another. But we got to take this shield right here off. Then we can gain access to all this stuff. Get the action sensors unplugged or screw them out of the bungs. I don't remember. And then we can unbolt the manifold. Also, since we're under here, you can see we're going to try to snug up oil pan bolts. Looks like it may be slightly leaking, but our big leak is down here on the transmission. It almost looks like the case halves are leaking. So we're going to brake clean this all up really good. And we're going to take that gray RTV I bought, and we're going to just, you know, smear it down the seam here, because this is a really weak 1984 transmission, 4-speed, 4:10:1 ratio. Everybody tells me it's going to blow up behind the 3800. Hasn't yet. I fully plan on that happening at some point, and then we're going to swap a 5-speed in here. But for now, we're just going to make this where it doesn't drip all over the floor. Of course, I think everything I have drips at the moment. Old car things. All right, focus. Oh yeah, then, you know, oil drain, oil filters up there. So we'll drain all that out too, so yeah. All right. Maybe we'll get the manifold off and we can drain the oil. And then weld the manifold while the oil's draining. That's what we're gonna do. All right, got my headlamp on too. Really bright light over here so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. Try and get better with lighting. I bought these a while ago. It's mostly broken. I need to get some new ones. Okay. What were we doing? Oh yeah. All right, let's just start taking stuff apart, I guess, here. Starting with the heat shield that I said. And now I'm not doing first. Those are little bolts. If I remember right, these are 1/4 inch. And I'm wrong. If I remember right, these are 9/32. Oh yeah, I got it on the first try. Yeah, extension. Numero uno. Close. Nice. And I think I need a wrench for this other one. I have a 9/16 ratcheting wrench. Crazy. And the 4th bolt. And the heat shield out. Okay, how did I do this? This is definitely the action sensor for the engine. I can unhook that. I do believe the dipstick has got to come out. Dipstick has to come out. Spark plug wires have to come off. drop all the fiberglass from the wrap in my face. All right, here's those three off. Yeah, that's great. I don't know if we're going to put this wrap back on here. Is it supposed to be like glass? All right. What do we got to do? All right, dipstick tube. And I think we can unbolt the manifold. It'll be itchy later. Most of this is by feel, by the way. All right, so that's unplugged. I think we'll take this one out. I don't remember where this one for the wideband oxygen sensor or wideband gauge plugs in. Probably buried up top somewhere, or it's in plain sight and I just didn't look. So we're just going to take it loose down here. All right. We need a bunch of 13 mil to get the manifold off. 13 mil holds the dipstick tube on. Dipstick tube out. It's just got a little horseshoe looking thing. It's all bent. We aren't going to worry about that. Now if you look up here, my stuff's all in the way. Bolts are up in here. There's one there, one above it, one over here at this end, and some more over here. So we'll get all that unbolted. Unbolt this bad boy, and then this whole thing should hopefully fall out. So I'll be back with you here once I get this off. Is it cracked there too? God. I don't think your heat wrap's supposed to do that. All right, I'll be right back. All right, we're back. I'm sweating. Manifold is off. You can see how this stuff is like glass here. It's probably because it's cheap. Looking up in there and seeing how much stuff's by this, we're going to at least try to rewrap part of it. Back up under the car here. See, this was the lower V-band. Up there's where the manifold goes. We got to get a new gasket on that. That's the upper V-band up there. Fits in here pretty good. Had to put a new gasket up on there, which we have in a package, but right now we're going to drain the oil. I've got this bucket and I'm going to pull that plug. Hopefully it hits the funnel and all goes in the bucket, because this thing's almost full and it's easier to do it this way than to empty this thing. So that's what we're going to do. Would really help if I remembered what size the drain plug is. Pretty sure it's 15. Yep, it's 15. Ow. Put the old reach around. Let's see how big of a mess we can make. Well, I didn't want to drop that down there. Magnet. Come on, seriously? There we go. Fished it out with the magnet. I find the most interesting ways to make things difficult. Hopefully there's enough room in this bucket. We're draining, we're hitting the funnel. That's all that matters. I mentioned it's hot. All right, so let's unwrap this, try to figure out where it's cracked. Probably be a super inconvenient spot. Battery in the camera's almost dead. Let's change the battery in the camera. All right, we're back. Changed out the camera battery. Oh boy, no, what the heck is this stuff doing? Well, I don't see a crack. If you're curious as to where it cracked before, it was right here. You can see my booger welds. But it appears to have held up pretty good right there. Hasn't cracked again. That doesn't look like it's leaking. But looks like it might be cracked up here. Aha. Found it. It is cracked right there, as you can see. Let's keep in mind I paid $100 for these manifolds, so I think what we're going to try to do is clean this up the best I can with a die grinder or something. Then we're going to get our cheap Harbor Freight welder out. And we're going to weld that up. And then we're going to use some new heat wrap and just try to wrap this top part mostly. Because when we look up in here, like there's a lot of stuff right at the top here. There's this coolant hose. It's already rubbing on this spark plug wire, which can go a different route. I've got heat tape on that stuff. I mean, I can try to fasten some of this stuff higher out of the way, but I just think a little bit of heat wrap's a good idea. Hey, we caught all the oil. Get our ADD going here and put the strain plug back in. Wrong way. That was right way. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Okay. Find the cap for that bucket, that would be helpful. There it is, found it. The old cap on there. Magnet can go in the toolbox. This filter here can go in with these other filters. And then move this over here, because our oil filter's up here. And I'm sure we're gonna make a mess with this. Yeah. All right, we'll let that drain. We'll go back over here and we'll start cleaning up this manifold. Gotta clean that up and get ready for welding. Should probably clean up the floor as well. I keep rubbing my face on my shirt, which is covered in this stuff. I'm gonna be itchy. Alright, so crack is there. How good can you all see that? Crack is right there. Just gonna try to clean this up the best I can. We'll hit her with a little weld. What do we got for cleaning here? All right, got this little sandy disc here. It's about as good as that's gonna get. it is cracked way down in there, so we're just going to have to try to do the best we can here. And for this, we're going to use our Harbor Freight titanium flux core 125, I believe is what this welder is. I mean, for this kind of stuff, it works great. Who am I kidding? This is the only welder I use anymore. Alright, so, see what we can do. At least this metal isn't really thin. I don't know if it'll be 100% leak free, but it will be quieter. Again, I am not a good welder by any stretch of the imagination, but that should hold. We got all the way past the crack at the end here, I believe. Looks like it. Filled a whole bunch down in that little gap down there. Should be good. It's the best we're going to be able to do. So we'll let that cool off for a minute. Come over here. Get the oil filter out of here. Drop it. That's cool. And we'll get our new one. Alright, we got our new filter. It's also a Wix. Put a little oil on the O-ring. I'll fish her up in here. Get it started, maybe. We'll spin it until it's tight. Probably help if I didn't have a sweaty oil-soaked glove. There we go. Alright, oil change is done. It's hot. Well, I think that fix on the manifold is going to be much better than what it was. Shut this air compressor off before it kicks back on, because I don't think we need it for anything else. I'm tempted to see, do I have any... Got a little bit of the silver high heat paint. Tempted to hit it with that before I wrap the manifold. It's probably a horrible idea. So if it's a horrible idea, let's do it. Go down here. Oh yeah. Makes it look like brand new. I think. I don't know. This wasn't brand new when I bought it. It was brand used. All right, we'll give that a minute to dry. And then wrap these tubes again. And then get this reinstalled in the car. And then we can fix transmission leak. Okay, I don't know how good of an angle you guys have, but up here's where the manifold goes. Got a new gasket, just got to figure out which way it goes. I think it goes like this. A couple studs in there still, thankfully. I was one working on it too. Yeah. Gasket's up there. Okay, manifold time. Okay, feed this thing up in here. I did kind of wrap the tops of it. Go, it's on there. Start a nut right here. Like that. Start one on this side too. I'm gonna get all these bolts up here started. And then we can tighten those. Drop everything. All right, bolts started. Tighten bolts. All right, I think that's all the bolts. Negative Ghost Rider, there is one more. Where does that go? Let's go in here. All right. There we go, that's all the bolts. Now we can put the dipstick tube in here, I think. Put it in backwards, that'd be cool. Like that. And then the nut that holds it. Now I think we can try to line this stuff up. Oh, that's cool. Found a little lift. Dang it. Son of a biscuit. Get this V-band together. Like so. Spark plug wires back on. Like so. Now what? Oh yes, oxygen sensor has to get plugged in. That's plugged in. This one's got to get reinstalled. Like that. I'm dying out here. All right, then we can put this piece back on. Just like that. And that is it down here. We just have the up top V-band to get, which we can do from up top. What else? Oh yeah, we're gonna brake clean everything, and then we'll seal that up. Also gonna check these oil pan bolts, see if they're tight. All right, pan bolts. All right, aren't terribly loose. All right, brake clean time. Clean everything up here with some brake clean. I get up here where the oil filter is too, since you know, made a mess with that. All right, now we'll clean up the transmission. I can taste colors at the moment. All right, one can down. Perfect shot. 2 for 2. And can number 2. All right, it should be clean enough. We'll let it air dry here for a minute. And we're gonna put some of that gray RTV along that seam. Some of you may be thinking this is leaking. I have had the drain plug out and put a new gasket on it. That is definitely not leaking. All right, it's dry. I got this stuff here, the super strong gray. Supposed to be able to seal up like timing cases and stuff with it. So that should work good for what we're doing. Now we're not going to need the tip thing where we're going. Just going to take this stuff and spill it everywhere. Go along here. Don't worry, I totally intend on this not actually fixing the issue. But if it just slows it down a little bit. Yeah, this is like rebuilt. If I sell this car, I can say it has a rebuilt transmission now. Just like that. Look at that. It's good as new. I mean, if this doesn't fix it, nothing would. All right, we'll let that set up for a little bit. I'm gonna get stuff cleaned up here under the car, and I'll meet you back up at the top when we're ready to put oil in it and put that V-band clamp back together up there. And we'll hear how the exhaust sounds when we start it. So I'll see you back here in a minute. All right, before I put it down, I forgot I have to fill the trans. So you fill the transmission through the hole for the vehicle speed sensor. There's that little bracket, there's a 10mm bolt. Hole is up there. This is what I am using. I'm gonna get it filled up and then get the sensor back in, then I'll be back with you. All right, here we are back on top. With my headers, you can't see the vehicle speed sensor. Make sure that if you are pulling that to fill the transmission, you don't knock the plastic gear off of the sensor, because then you'll spend about 25 minutes trying to fish that gear out of the transmission. Ask me how I know. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put the oil in there. Put all 5 quarts in. I don't remember what these take. Probably 4.5. But we're gonna, do the whole thing. Flows out nice and good, nice and quick when it's warm out. It's like 87 degrees in here. All right, there we go there. Take our funnel. Throw it in there. Take your oil cap. Put that on there. Now we have washers and nut there, the V-band clamp right here. We have to get reinstalled. All right, clamp is on there. Now we'll put our 52 washers that I had in here on it. Then we'll start this nut. Maybe. Alright, this will either work or it won't. Please don't blow apart. Shoot. I think I've recovered most of the bits. This time I'll hold it. And tighten it. Ask myself, what are you doing? All right, I think it's bolted together all the way. Only one way to find out, and that's to start it. All right, here we are in it. Let's see what happens when we go to start it. Oh, sounds pretty good. Still a little bit of an exhaust leak, but that could be that crack. Definitely that V-band leaking a little bit. Probably have to get a new one for it. But it sounds better than it did. It was pretty loud before, not that I showed you what it sounded like. Let's get some cars swapped around. We'll take this for a quick drive and we'll be done with this video. Alright, let's take it around the block and see what it does. Apparently it's going to rain. It definitely sounds much better than it did. Like I said, there's still a little bit of a leak there. I might have to get a new V-band. They're all rusty. They've been on there forever. So maybe I'll do that. But it's way better than it was. I can't smell the exhaust inside the car anymore because I could before. And yeah, sounds good. Alright guys, well there you have it. Exhaust fixed, oil change completed, transmission leak fixed. At least it's different. So that's gonna do it for this video. I'm gonna start driving this thing. Might as well enjoy it, I own it. So thanks for watching this video. Make sure you leave a like, leave a comment, hype the video in the first week that it's out. It does help the channel. Make sure you're subscribed. We got a lot more stuff to work on. I will see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care.